Spoiler warning, if you are clicking on this video because you know the YouTube channel The Dungeon Minister and are interested in watching this because it's called the Heroes of Honeywood, I highly recommend that before you do that, you first listen to all of Book 1, Forestera's Fate, the Sacred Shrine in the Valley of Caves, and then listen to the first 13 chapters of Book 2 of Forestera's Fate, the Caves of Ordered Randomness. Because if you watch this first, it will spoil a lot of things in the story, including part of the ending of Book 1. So if you don't want to have anything spoiled, I recommend you don't watch this until you've first listened to it. There are links in the description with every chapter that allows you to read it as well as listen to it, so you have both options available. And with that, we will begin this chapter 14.
Nothing will keep us together. We can beat them forever and ever. Oh, we can be heroes just for one day.
Chapter 14, The Heroes of Honeywood. All 8 of the colored doors, which now looked more like portals since they were just standing straight up in the air, just dropped down into the ground and disappeared. Behind them were large flat stones that also stood straight up and were about the same size as the portals. Standing within the circle of stones was a very large brown wooden sign that had green letters carved in it with yellow streaks that ran through the wood, which made it look quite beautiful. The sign read the following: "Welcome to this magical place. The portals will not return until you accomplish 2 tasks. 1. Find a woman who is called Sister Abigail and serve her in whatever way that she asks you to. 2. Find a group that are known as the Heroes of Honeywood and serve them in whatever way they ask you to. Once you've accomplished both tasks, return here as quickly as you can, and you may then continue on with your quest. No one else will be able to see the sign or the portals, but if you take hold of someone's hand, they will be able to walk through a portal with you, if they so desire, but only if they so desire. Enjoy your adventuring, and may all your adventures be thrilling. Latia." What in the world is going on here? Sister Abigail? The Heroes of Honeywood? Well, this is different. Who are they, and how are we going to find them? This sign, though, is just like the Wood Elf signs. I guess that shouldn't surprise me, though, should it? Lightmane: No, I'm guessing Shayla wrote it. Not sure who else would have, but I'm a little confused. Is this sign meant for just us, or for anyone who comes here through the green door? Though I guess portal is the right word, since the sign calls them portals. I guess portal makes more sense, especially since it just somehow transported all of us here. So we have to help or serve them in some manner, or we're stuck here? What? Jack decided to end his invisibility spell. Yeah, this is weird. So she made this sign and put it here, but no one else can see it, or the portals either? I don't get it. How is it possible that nobody else can see any of this? Latia, looking around now. No clue. But where are Jograth and the others? What happened to them? Belfin. Oh, this all just keeps getting weirder and weirder. I guess the portal sent them somewhere else, or maybe to another room. I mean, they started at a different place than we did, so they must have ended up in a different place too then. That's my best guess anyway. Latia. Well, I'm glad they're no longer with us, but I just can't get over the fact that Jograth had Raisha raised from the dead. Now I wish we didn't give him any money. I think he's lost his mind. Shinfia. How about the fact that they've fallen in love with each other? That's even more shocking to me than seeing Raisha alive. Lightmane. Don't even get me started on that, Shin. But so far, everything that's happened since we entered this place has either shocked or confused me. But what do we do now? Just walk in a random direction and hope we run into this woman or group? Jack. Random direction. We sure are saying or hearing that word a lot lately, aren't we? Well, I say we just head out in the direction that we're now facing and see where we end up. Nightwind. I agree. As soon as we meet others, we'll just ask them if they know who these people are. Let's head out. Lightmane. Wait, I see a village this way, way off in the distance. So let's head there. And with that, the party all started walking through the plains. Shinfia. Sister Abigail. Maybe she's a monk. I'm now called a disciple, by the way. See, these titles for us monks just seem to work, don't they? Though I still like referring to myself as Sister Shinfia, she said, smiling. In no time at all, they saw a small farm in the distance, and they could see several people working in the fields, with a village just beyond it. When the people working in the fields saw the party approaching, one of them called out, Hail, and well met, travelers. We assume that you're all peaceful travelers. A party of adventurers, yes? Tenneth. Hey guys, let me try talking to them. Yes, we are. We're hoping that you can help us. We are looking for someone who calls herself Sister Abigail, and also a group that is called the Heroes of Honeywood. Have you heard of either of them? Farmer. No, but this is the village of Honeywood, so you're in the right place. Tenneth. Oh, great. Thank you for letting us know that. As the party kept walking into the village, they soon saw up ahead what looked like a small party of adventurers. 2 were elves, and the other 2 were a human and a halfling. The human was a female. One of the elves wore plate armor and carried a battle axe, and the other wore chain armor and had a short sword sheathed at his side, while the halfling also wore chain armor and carried a shield, with a sheathed short sword as well. The female wore leather armor and was holding a most impressive-looking bow that had the shape of a dragon's head on the end of it. Shinfia. Hey, look at that cool bow she has. Do you think it's magical, or is it just a very cool-looking bow? Lightmane. Don't know, but I wish I had a bow that looked like that. Let's try talking to them. 2 of them are elves, though, so clearly I should try talking to them first. Lightmane was just having some fun now. Belfin joining in the fun. One of them is a halfling, and the other is a human. So how about I try talking to them, or perhaps one of the humans in our group should try. Besides, they'll probably be much more receptive to someone like me, since I'm a halfling, and everyone knows that we halflings are nothing but friendly. Unlike you elves. Lightmane continuing with the sarcasm. Yes, but us elves have much better manners than you halflings and humans, and we speak better too. Tenneth, coughing now. I beg your pardon? Who is this elf that is traveling with us, and what has happened to our beloved Lightmane? Yes, Tenneth was having fun with this too. Shinfia, also wanting to join in the fun. I think I should go talk to the girl. Careful, Lightmane. Don't say something that'll make her slap you. Dama was looking very confused, as wood elves never use sarcasm when they spoke to each other. But she said nothing. but kept wondering to herself why Shayla invited her to go with them. Lightmane, trying to be serious now. Greetings. We are a party of adventurers. My name is Lightmane. We are looking for a woman who is called Sister Abigail, and also for a group of people who are known as the Heroes of Honeywood. Would you by chance know who they are? Elf. The Heroes of Honeywood? Why are you looking for them? What business do you have with them? Lightmane, trying to think of the best way to answer that. Well, we were sent here to meet them and to see if we could serve them in some capacity. It's a little difficult to explain, but that's basically why we're here. Same with Sister Abigail. We are under the assumption that they might be in need of our assistance in some way. Elf, looking at the three who were with him, and then back at the party. I see. Well, my name is Fleetwood, and this, pointing to the other elf and then to the others, is Bob Johnny, Touchberry, and Fauxfire. We are those Heroes of Honeywood that you're looking for. So who are all of you? Lightmane. Oh, I see. Well, it's an honor to meet all of you, he said, trying to sound polite, but then realizing that his words didn't really make much sense since he had no clue who these Heroes of Honeywood were, let alone why they were called that. But he continued, There's only 4 of you, so I'm guessing you're all quite powerful, yes? Fleetwood just continued looking at the elf and said nothing, as did the others. Lightmane, clearing his throat, this is... But the girls quickly stepped in front of Lightmane and greeted Fauxfire, Shinfia. Hi, Fauxfire. I love your name. My name is Shinfia, and this is Latia. Latia. Fauxfire. What a cool name. And your bow is very impressive looking. We all were just saying to each other how we wished we had a bow like yours. Fauxfire, smiling now. Well, hello to you both, girls. I like both of your names as well. Yes, it's a very cool bow, and I feel very fortunate to have it. Belfin went up to Touchberry. Greetings, Touchberry. Now that's a halfling name if I ever heard one, he said, smiling. My name is Belfin. It's a pleasure to meet you. He extended his hand, and Touchberry shook it. The pleasure is all mine, Belfin. It's very nice to meet you too. Lightmane, still trying to address Fleetwood. And the others' names are Jack and Tenneth, and this gnome here is called Phileas. Touchberry, so how did you all hear about us? Lightmane, not sure how to address that. How did we hear about you? Well, that's a little hard to explain. Phileas, seeing Lightmane struggling now. It's a pleasure to meet all of you. We were told to seek you out and to serve you in any way that we could, so that's why we're here. We know that sounds a little odd, but we are on a quest, and apparently this is where we're supposed to go next. We are here to offer you our services, if you are in need of any, that is. By chance, do you also know who Sister Abigail is? Phileas, smiling now, glanced at Lightmane, who just rolled his eyes at the gnome. Fleetwood, why, yes we do. We are all friends of hers. Fleetwood hesitated to say any more yet, until they all felt that they could trust these people. Lightmane, oh great! This is our first time in Honeywood, but we're not quite sure where we are at the moment. I know that sounds odd, but we'll try to explain. But where in Forestera are we? Fleetwood, Forestera? What is that? Lightmane, looking confused. That's the name of the world. Fleetwood, no it's not. The world is called Tullif. Jack, Tullif? How do you spell that? Fleetwood, T-A-L-A-M-H. Jack, writing that down, but looking confused now. What an interesting way to spell that word. Well, where we come from, it's called Forestera. I guess people from different areas call the world by a different name. Latia, also looking a little confused. I guess. That's a very interesting name, though. Talif. I like it. Latia smiled as she said that, to which the other group smiled back. Lightmane. I'm guessing we're somewhere in the southern plains, yes? This is Halfling country, I'm guessing. Touchberry, looking very confused now. Halfling country? Southern plains? Honeywood is a human village, far to the north, close to the Elvenwood, though a few of us halflings do dwell here. Lightmane, looking surprised. We're in the far north? Near the Elvenwood? Elvenwood. I like that name. We refer to it as the Great Elven Kingdom. So how far are we from the Elven Kingdom? Touchberry, I'd say it's around 20 miles from here. Lightmane, 20 miles? Turning to his party. Guys, does this mean that the caves can bring us within 20 miles of the Elven Kingdom anytime we want? Latia, Lightmane, if that's true, and every time we go green, 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 it brings us here, then you and I can visit our family pretty much anytime we want to. This is great. But then again, what if it sends us somewhere else next time? Lightmane, when we're back, let's try to remember to go green, green, green again and see what happens. Touchberry, green, green, green? Caves? Looking at his friends now. Well, despite how confusing that all sounded, I feel that we can trust these people. They all agreed, so he turned back to the party. Sister Abigail is in some trouble, and we were about to head to her to see if we could help her. Bob Johnny, yes, but we were also told that it's very dangerous and that a very powerful creature of some kind is involved and that she might be its prisoner. I say it because we don't know what it is. Fauxfire, we were just discussing if there was anyone else who might be able to come with us, since this sounds kind of dangerous, and then you all just show up. She then looked at her group. I think this means that this is the group that is supposed to help us. So how about we all join forces and travel together to Sister Abigail and see if we can rescue her from whatever this creature is that has her trapped. Shinfia, great! Let's all head out then. Oh, by the way, is Sister Abigail a monk by chance? I ask because I'm a monk, and sister is one of the titles for a monk, so I was just curious. Touchberry, no, she's a druid. Latia, smiling now, but then not smiling. I'm a druid? So this creature has taken a druid as its prisoner? Well then, if there was any doubt about why we're here, there isn't any more. We are very happy that we found you. So, let's go rescue Sister Abigail. Fleetwood, looking at Latia now. You're a half-elf. You have very strong human features, though. I like that, he said, smiling, but then noticed Latia wasn't sure how to take that. Oh, no, that's not what I meant. I'm not partial to elves over half-elves or anything like that. I just like how some half-elves look more like an elf, while others look more like a human. But none of them can fool us elves. Well, unless they're really good with disguises, maybe, he said, smiling again, to which Latia now smiled back. Latia, looking at the others. I really like these people. Then seeing Dalma. Oh, have you guys ever met a wood elf before? This is Dalma. She's traveling with us. She's a druid too, and also a ranger and a rogue. Oh, and I'm a ranger druid too. Touchberry, looking a little surprised. I didn't even know it was possible to be both a ranger and a druid at the same time, but no, we've never seen a wood elf before, but we know about them a little bit. Wood elves only live in forests, right? Dalma, yes, it's a pleasure to meet all of you, and I hope that we can help you rescue your friend. But this sounds dangerous, so I'm glad there's 13 of us, instead of just 9. Nightwind, also smiling now. Lucky 13. Let's go. Lead the way, folks. As they all headed out, they tried their best to explain where they were headed. Touchberry, all we know right now is that she is trapped within a place that is called Skull Cave. Jack, Skull Cave? Sounds lovely. Bob Johnny, I know, right? We're not sure how to get inside though, as there are hordes of undead outside the cave, so it is pointless to try to enter in that way. We were told that Abigail has a special magical item that allowed her to pass by the undead somehow and enter the cave. Why she entered, though, we don't know. Dalma, confused again by Jack's words. Sounds lovely? How does Skull Cave sound lovely? It sounds horrifying. Jack, I'm sorry, Dalma. I need to remember that you don't fully understand the concept of sarcasm. By sounds lovely, I meant the opposite. Yes, it truly does sound horrifying. Fleetwood, yes it does. But we've heard rumors that say that a powerful undead creature lairs somewhere inside. But others have said there is a werewolf or a group of werewolves that lair within. We are uncertain if any of these rumors have any truth to them, and we're discussing what we should try doing when you came along. Dalma, the way some of you talk truly confuses me, but I will try to remember that if what you say makes no sense, that it's probably sarcasm, as you say, and you mean the opposite. Fauxfire, looking at Dalma and smiling. I understand your confusion, Dalma. Sarcasm was lost on me for a while too, but now I usually know when someone is being sarcastic, so don't worry. In time, you'll figure it out. We fear that this creature, or creatures, whatever they are, has taken her prisoner. We are hoping that's not the case, but above all else, we just hope that she is alive, and that we can rescue her. Lightmane, obviously we all hope that's the case too. And here's hoping that us showing up now will help make that happen. But we're all curious about something else too. Why are you all referred to as the Heroes of Honeywood? Bob Johnny, oh that. Well, there was a great battle a while ago as kobolds and gnolls, along with a couple other monsters, attacked the village of Honeywood and tried to break through the wall that protected everyone. They might have succeeded too, as there was a gap, as the wall wasn't finished yet, but we were able to defend the gap, which ended up turning the tide of that battle. Had they broken through, we might all be dead now. Tenneth, wow, that's incredible. Thank you for sharing that. What kind of undead or werewolf do you believe it is? Bob Johnny, the only type of lycanthrope that was mentioned was a werewolf. With the undead, though, some have said a wight or a wraith, but others believe it's a specter or a vampire. Tenneth, oh good lord. Well, here's hoping it's a werewolf or a wight. We can easily deal with those creatures if there's just one of them. Nightwind, there's 13 of us. We can take any of those creatures if it's just one creature. Seeing Tenneth looking at him, I've read Yolo's book a little. I know how powerful vampires are, and I know those creatures can all drain part of our life essence. But since draining part of our life essence won't kill us, and since it will slowly come back to us over time, I see no major problem here. Now, if there's 3 or 4 vampires, or more, then that's a problem. Bob Johnny, Sister Abigail is a very powerful druid, though, so hopefully she's still alive. But druids do not possess the power to turn the undead, so we fear that she has been captured, or worse, killed. As the party got close to Skull Cave, they could see the hordes of undead that were by the cave entrance and had no clue where to go next. But as they were scanning the area, a light formed in the air and what seemed like a portal of some kind opened up before them. As they all watched, Sister Abigail appeared in the portal. Step through the portal, quickly! I can't hold it open for very long. This is the only way in. Quickly now! Immediately, Fleetwood, Bob Johnny, Touchberry, and Fauxfire all ran through the portal, so the party did as well. And they all found themselves in what would have been a very dark cave, but there was a dim light source against the wall that lit up the area just enough so they could all see somewhat. But inside that light source was Sister Abigail. She was trapped within some type of energy field. Sister Abigail, attack the field. It will eventually break down if you keep hitting it. But if one of you has the spell, Dispel Magic, it will bring it down immediately. Jack was thinking about casting Continual Light. We have that spell in a spell book, but we aren't able to cast level 3 spells yet. But I could try to cast it from the book, though, I believe. Sister Abigail, yes, but do it quickly. They will be upon us any moment now. Tenneth, they? Who's they? But as Tenneth said that, and as Fleetwood and Nightwind started attacking the energy field that held Abigail with their battle axe, 2 creatures came from their left and 2 more came from their right. They pounced on them quickly before anyone knew what was happening. One of them slammed into Tenneth, while another did the same with Lightmane, Fleetwood, and Dalma. All 4 of them were knocked to the ground and took damage. Their snarls and growls caused fear to run through everyone, and immediately panic set in. Shinfia immediately pulled forth her sword, which was now glowing with a soft dark blue hue, which surprised her, since the creatures looked like wolves and not undead. But green streaks also ran through the blue glow of her sword, which frightened her. As once again, the sword glowed in a way that it never had before, and immediately Shinfia realized that these wolf-like creatures were also undead. Shinfia crying out now, "They're shadow werewolves! Normal weapons won't harm them!" But as she heard herself cry out those words, they confused her. For how could an undead creature also be a werewolf, let alone that she had no idea what a shadow werewolf even was? What did that even mean? She didn't know, and neither did anyone else, who were also greatly confused by her words. But Nightwind dropped his battle axe and drew forth his magic hand axe and swung at the one that had pounced on Lightmane. His axe cut into it, and Lightmane was able to move away and get up, but the creature slashed its claws at Nightwind and they cut into him. The dwarf cried out, but somehow avoided the creature's jaws that just missed biting him in his neck. But now Nightwind felt a little weaker, as did everyone else who had been wounded by these creatures. Everyone saw how fast and ferocious these things were, but were still confident that 13 of them could handle these 4 creatures. Shinfia swung her sword at the creature on Tenneth, and it ripped into it. The creature let out a terrifying howl and fled into the darkness, but Fauxfire fired arrows at it and struck it, and the creature fell over. The creature on Dalma slashed its claws across her body and bit her, damaging her badly. She tried to get free, but couldn't. Latia swung her magic sword at the creature on Dalma and hit it good, but it then leapt at her, knocking her down as well. Touchberry swung his magic short sword at it, and it cut into the creature good. Dalma didn't have a magic weapon, but she slowly rose to her feet and tried casting her level 3 spell, Animal Summoning. The creature that was on Fleetwood had badly damaged him too, but Bob Johnny struck it with his magic battle axe and cut into it, so the creature turned and leapt at him, knocking him down as its claws swiped across his body, while it also tried to bite him, but he somehow avoided its jaws. Lightmane got up quickly and came at the one that was now on Nightwind, while Belfin came up behind it, and his magic dagger cut into it, but it turned and pounced on Belfin, knocking him to the ground as its claws swiped across the halfling's body, damaging him good, and he cried out in pain. Lightmane swung his magic sword at the creature that was now on Belfin, and the sword cut into it good, but it didn't fall, and Belfin wasn't feeling good either now. Fauxfire readied her bow again, but she had no clear shot, so she waited for an opening, but was ready in case any more came at them or fled. Phileas didn't have a magic weapon. He knew his Burning Hand spell would hurt them, but there was nowhere to cast it without also hurting others. So he cast Mirror Image, and 3 images of himself appeared around him. Now, if any of those creatures attacked him, the attack would most likely destroy one of the images instead of hitting him. Tenneth, while he didn't feel very good now, slowly got to his feet and tried to turn them. Shinfia, seeing one of them on Bobjani, with only Fleetwood helping, ran towards them as Fleetwood took a step back and started casting Magic Missile, and almost immediately 3 missiles flew into the creature, doing a fair amount of damage. But somehow Shinfia's sword didn't connect, and the creature swiped its claws at her and tried to bite her. One of its claws, along with its teeth, cut into her, and she cried out, while also feeling slightly weakened as well. 3 direwolves appeared around Dalma. "Protect me from the wolf creatures. Don't let any of them attack me, but ignore everyone else." The direwolves did as she commanded and guarded her as best they could. Tenneth failed to turn any of them, so he came at the one that was now on top of Latia. The creature swiped its claws at Latia and tried to bite her. Latia tried her best to fight it off, but the creature connected and damaged her badly. It then jumped off of her and then somehow leapt over all 3 of the wolves, knocking Dalma down again as it swiped its claws across her body and bit her. Dalma cried out and then seemed to pass out as the 3 direwolves all pounced on the creature, but it was immune to their attacks and started to wound them badly. Bobjani cast Magic Missile, and 3 missiles flew into the creature that was now on Belfin. It swiped its claws at Belfin again, damaging him good, but the Magic Missiles damaged it badly, and Touchberry was also able to hit it with his magic short sword, and the creature flew off of Belfin and fled. But once again, Fauxfire fired her bow, and arrows flew into the creature, and it fell. Lightmane then cast Magic Missile, targeting the one that had just damaged Shinfia, and 2 missiles flew into it, but the creature leapt at Lightmane, knocking him down again. Its claws swiped across his body, and Lightmane was now barely conscious. Jack, having finally retrieved the spellbook that he carried in his backpack, opened it to Dispel Magic, and tried to cast it directly from the book, targeting the energy field that had trapped Abigail within. He was pretty sure that this would destroy the spell, but knowing how powerful they said she was, he felt that he had to do it. The spell went off, and the energy field came down. Amazingly, the spell was still in the spellbook, but unfortunately for Jack, a bolt of energy shot forth from the energy field as it was coming down and struck Jack, knocking him to the ground. He was badly burned and wasn't moving. Abigail immediately cast one of her level 4 druid spells, Summon Spirit Animal, and soon a ghostly form of a wolf appeared in front of her, and she sent it at the creature that was attacking the direwolves. But since those wolves were unable to hurt it, it turned and engaged the ghostly wolf image. Everyone who had been damaged by these creatures were struggling to keep standing now, as they all felt weak and sick, and some fell to their knees. Abigail then cast Flame Blade, and a blazing ray of red-hot fire sprang forth from her hand. Shinfia somehow managed to rise to her feet as her sword sent a surge of energy into her body. The creature leapt at her, but she was able to swerve to the side, and it flew right by her. She and Fleetwood attacked it with their swords, while Abigail attacked it with her Flame Blade. All 3 weapons ripped into the creature, and it fell dead, as Abigail's spirit wolf slew the other one. Everyone but Abigail and Phileas and Fauxfire collapsed to the ground, having been greatly weakened by these undead werewolf creatures, so they went around and bound everyone's wounds, while Abigail cast her healing spells on them. Everyone slowly started to come around, but Jack and Dalma were still on the ground, unconscious. Everyone else was still feeling weak and sick, so they all ate some of their drana and drank some water or honeymead, which made them all feel a little better. Touchberry, my short sword can also heal wounds somewhat, so who needs healing the most? Abigail, cast it on this one. He's a cleric, so keeping him alive is most important. It won't do much for the 2 that are unconscious. I'm very worried about this wood elf, though. She doesn't look good, but neither does the wizard who freed me from the energy field. Latia slowly moving over to Dalma now. What's wrong with them? Touchberry healed Tenneth with his sword. How are you feeling now? Better? Tenneth, yes, thank you. No, wait, I still feel sick and weak. What's going on? Shinfia, I'm wondering why my sword isn't healing me like it did before. I guess I'm not badly wounded enough, maybe? I feel like crap, though. Abigail, it's those creatures that have caused you all to feel this way. They are called shadow werewolves. They are a very rare creature that almost no one knows anything about. They are the result of some strange hybrid mutation of a werewolf and two undead creatures, a shadow and a white. Luckily, their attacks don't drain some of your life essence like whites do, but what they do drain is almost as bad. For each time they wound you, in addition to becoming weaker and slower, your body can also start to become sick, and you could also be poisoned, and eventually you just pass out. That's what happened to this wood elf, and the elf in your party too. There are two spells that need to be cast on a person so weakened like this: Neutralize Poison and Cure Disease. I have both spells, but that will only heal one of you fully. Latia, I have Neutralize Poison, and Dalma has Cure Disease. Dalma is the wood elf. We're the only two that can cast those spells, though. Tenneth, I have a scroll with two very powerful spells, Heal and Raise Dead, along with another scroll that has 7 spells on it, but I think the only healing spell on it is Cure Critical Wounds. Abigail, after examining Dalma and Jack some more, Cure Critical Wounds will heal most of your wounds, and I have that spell as well, so I think you should cast it on yourself, or maybe your elf friend. Turning to Latia now, and I'll cast it on you. By the way, what is your name? Oh, my name is Latia. It's a pleasure to meet you, Abigail. I'm a druid too. Well, a ranger druid, as is Dalma. Are Dalma and Jack going to be okay? Abigail, I need to cast Cure Disease and Neutralize Poison on her, because if I don't, I'm not sure if she's going to make it. Actually, I'm not sure she will even if I cast them, as I've never dealt with anyone who was wounded by these creatures before. Everyone keep watching, in case there are more of them. Nightwind, I'm watching. Bob Johnny, so are Fleetwood and I, despite how we feel. Abigail, good. I'm going to try casting both spells on her now. After she cast those spells on Dalma, she regained consciousness and opened her eyes. Latia speaking to Dalma. Hi, how are you feeling? Dalma, horrible. What's going on? Latia, I'm sorry, but you are in very bad shape. Luckily, Sister Abigail just cast Neutralize Poison and Cure Disease on you, so we're all hoping that heals you, because we might all need those spells cast on us too. And since you and I are the only ones who can cast them, other than Sister Abigail, of course, we'll be casting them a lot, because those creatures wounded most of us pretty bad, and now we're all feeling weak and sick, as well as poisoned. But you were in the worst shape, which is why she cast them on you first. Tenneth then noticed that Lightmane was barely conscious, so he cast Cure Critical Wounds on him instead, and Abigail cast it on Latia, and immediately most of their wounds were healed, but they still didn't feel very good. Abigail, you're the only one who can cast that heal spell, right? Tenneth, I don't know if I can cast it successfully from this scroll, but I can try. Can't you cast it? Abigail, no, because it's a clerical scroll. Try to cast it on your friend here. I don't know if he'll make it otherwise. If it works, then I'm going to open up that portal again so that we can at least get out of here. So we won't have to worry about those creatures coming back, but we'll just be outside, near the entrance. But I'm hoping you'll all be well enough to travel. I have a safe place where you can all rest. Tenneth went over to Jack, who looked like he might already be dead, and tried casting the heal spell from his scroll. Somehow he was able to successfully cast it, and almost immediately Jack was completely healed. Jack, thanks. When that bolt of energy hit me, I thought I was dead for sure. Glad that wasn't the case. So glad we found that scroll. Everyone felt that they were well enough to travel a little bit. So Abigail used her special item and opened up the portal again, and they all stepped through and then traveled a little ways to her special grove in the woods where she lived. There they were all able to rest and heal, thanks to Abigail and Latia and Dalma's ability to be able to cast neutralize poison and cure disease on all of them. Dalma couldn't believe all that just happened. She saw how worried Latia was as she laid there after regaining consciousness. She couldn't get over how much Latia seemed to care about her. She didn't fully understand why she did, but Dalma found herself feeling very grateful that she did. Phileas: so those creatures are called shadow werewolves? I've never heard of them. Here's hoping we never see them ever again. So what would have happened to us if we didn't have access to neutralize poison and cure disease? Abigail: they are unlike any undead creatures that I've ever encountered. Their attacks both poison you while also making you feel sick and weak. Their speed and ferocity are incredible, which makes it extremely difficult to engage them in battle, as you all saw. They pounced on me so quickly I didn't even know what hit me, and soon I passed out. When I woke, I was imprisoned. I don't know why they didn't just kill me, but I'm lucky that I was able to reach out to the four of you and reveal to you where I was. I'm just glad that you all came with this other group, or I fear we'd all be dead now, or you four would have been dead, and I'd still be their prisoner. I hope that I never see such creatures ever again. But now I must thank all of you and reward you for rescuing me. She went inside her home, and soon she came back out. She was holding 2 beautiful-looking medallions in her hand and 2 daggers. These daggers each have a small enchantment on them, so I'm giving one to each group, and one of these medallions to each of you as well. These medallions are very special items. They are medallions of healing. Tenneth: hey, those look very similar to the medallion that half-elf girl had, remember? Lightmane: I remember. Her name was Lisa, and her parents were Lane and Leannon. Jack: oh yes, Lane, Leannon, and Lisa. I remember them. What a sweet girl she was, as was her mother. Lane, though, not so much, he said, almost laughing. Abigail: I doubt they're exactly the same as her medallion was, but let me know if they are. When you wear it, it will help protect you from poison and disease a little bit. It won't make you immune to them, just a little more resistant. Also, if someone is wounded or unconscious, it will help your wounds heal a little bit, but just a little. But it also might keep you from dying. I hope they serve you well, and I thank you all again for rescuing me. I am indebted to you all. Tenneth: okay, those aren't the same as Lisa's medallion, but they're still very cool. Thank you so much for your generous gifts. Sister Abigail: you are very welcome. Lightmane, speaking to the other group now: well, it's been a pleasure to meet all of you and to go adventuring with you all, but unfortunately, we need to get going. We hope we'll meet you all again sometime, but we aren't sure when we'll be around here again, though I do intend to visit my family members who live in the Elven Kingdom at some point, so if we're now able to come back here anytime we want, we'll definitely stop by and say hello. Now, though, we have to head back from where we came from, and we're not sure where we're going to end up once we get there. Fleetwood, looking very confused: you have to head back from where you came from, but you're not sure where you're going to end up once you get there? What? Latia: we'd try to explain that better if we could, but we don't even know what all is going on right now with this quest that we're on. But we are all very glad that we met the 4 of you, and you too, Sister Abigail. Jack: I'm writing down all of your names, so we won't forget them, and I'll write down all of our names for you, he said, as he handed Fauxfire the paper with their names on it. You all take care now. Lightmane: Wait, the sign also said that others could come with us through the portal if we take hold of their hand, but only if they desire to come with us. I'm not sure, but I think that means we're supposed to invite you all to come with us on this quest that we're on. We're trying to find 3 items that are hidden in a place called the Caves of Ordered Randomness. You won't be able to see the portals though, and I'm not sure why you'd want to come with us, but if you'd like to come, you can, apparently. Fauxfire, after looking at her friends, Ordered Randomness, you're inviting us to come with you on a quest through portals that we won't be able to see, but if we take your hand, we'll be able to come through them with you? I think we're going to have to pass on that. But if we all somehow run into each other again sometime, maybe we'll take that as a sign and reconsider. Latia and Shinfia, thank you for that warm greeting. It was great to meet both of you girls, as well as the rest of you. You all are a most interesting group. We've traveled with others at times, but mostly it's just been the 4 of us. Tenneth, how you're all able to survive in this world without a cleric, I'll never know. But then again, you've got Sister Abigail here, don't you? Everyone just smiled. They all said goodbye to each other one more time, and the party headed back to the Standing Stones, happy to have somehow survived against 4 very powerful undead werewolf creatures, and happy to have met another party of adventurers and become friends with them. They just hoped that the next place or room that they ended up in didn't involve having to fight more powerful monsters that none of them had ever seen or heard of before. Genevieve. I sure do love seeing Phileas adventuring with his friends. I can't wait until we're together again, though. But I understand that could still be a while from now. But that's okay. He's happy, and seeing him happy makes me happy. So thank you so much, Sheila, for allowing me to sit with you and watch him go adventuring. Sheila, smiling now. You're quite welcome, dear. I'm enjoying having you with me, too. It's fun to sit and watch them with others. Genevieve, smiling back. It sure is. But what are those shadow werewolf creatures? They're horrifying. I've never seen any creature like that before. Sheila, no one has. But I can't wait to see how YOLO creates them. On paper, she said, smiling. Jilgrath and Raisha and the others all found themselves outside, near a trail, by a river, but the adventurers were nowhere to be seen. As they looked around, they saw that they were near the crossroads that was near the keep. They were standing within the 8 colored portals that basically formed a very large circle around them, and the portals all seemed to glow somewhat. Jilgrath, what the? How in the world did we end up here? And where are the others? Raisha, smiling now. Oh, I'm so glad they're not here. I swear I'm going to kill Latia if I ever get the chance. Jilgrath, what? No, you're not. Raisha, oh yes I am. Why shouldn't I? She wants to kill me. What, do you want me to just ignore her and let her run her sword through me? Forget it, sweetheart. If I see her again, I'm going to kill her. If I'm able to, that is. Jilgrath, Ray, you're not going to kill any of them, because they're the reason that you and I are together now. Also, I owe all of them my life. Raisha, yes, because they raised you from the dead. Okay, fine. If I see her again, I won't kill her. But here's hoping that I never see her or any of them ever again. Look at this sign. It says these portals will remain here for 48 hours, but that no one else will be able to see them, or this sign, but that after 48 hours, they'll disappear. I don't get it. Why did it send us here? I'm so confused by all of this. Jilgrath. I don't know. But let's step through the green portal again. Mithril. What? No, let's not. You just said everything happens for a reason, right? Well, this thing just sent us here. And who knows where it sent those adventurers. So how about we take that as a sign and head back to our temple? I mean, it's not like you can't just travel to the giant stone again anytime you want. I don't know about the rest of you, but I want to go back to the valley. How about everyone else? Everyone else, except for Jilgrath, of course, wanted to go back to the valley. So they did. Jilgrath putting his head down and shaking it in frustration. Fine, but tomorrow I'm going back. With or without you. Raisha. Well, if you head back tomorrow, I'll go with you, and everyone else will too. She then looked into Jilgrath's eyes and smiled. You're not going anywhere without me, so don't worry. Jilgrath smiling back at her. I never want to go anywhere if you're not with me. Raisha just smiled again, but then looked at Mithril, who just stared back at her, but didn't smile.